Hey everyone, my name is the Theme Park Evangelist. So today's random vlog is going to be discussing what it's been like living in Grant County, Kentucky for the past 6 months. The reason why I decided to do this now is because technically next week, um, not next week, technically come March, will make half of a year that I've been living here in Grant County. However, though, next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whenever I happen to publish my final random vlog during the winter time, that doesn't mean this is my last winter vlog ever. Or sorry, random vlog ever. It just means that it won't be as frequent as it used to be because of the fact that around these parts, March starts the busy season at a lot of jobs, especially in the tourism industry. And I'm sure grocery is the same way. So, yeah, with me now working at Hampton by Hilton in Williamstown and Publix supermarkets in Walton, Kentucky, or Richwood, Kentucky, whatever you want to call it, my hands are going to be very full for a little while. But that doesn't mean that the YouTubing is going to be done. It just means that it's going to slow down. The winter time is a perfect time for you guys to enjoy my vlogs every single week, no matter what. But the spring, the summer, sure, the vlogs get better because, I'm going to be going out more often, doing like Hilton vlogs, Kings Island vlogs, Disney, Universal, etc., etc. However, though, it just won't be as frequent. But, there will be times when I might be able to do a whole crap ton of out of the house vlogs, as I call them, all at the same time. And then there might be like a period of time where you just don't even hear anything from me for like maybe a week or two. And you're just like, is he okay? Is he still alive? Oh, yeah, I'm okay. You can just check on me with my Facebook page, facebook.com/slash the theme park evangelist. Link is in my about section, by the way, if you do want to find a much easier way to find me. Anyway, so needless to say, next week I have something else planned for you guys, but today, um, being Friday, February 21st, a week before TJ's 31st birthday, and before my future mother-in-law arrives to help Katie and I with the wedding planning, I decided I'm going to go ahead and talk to you guys about what it's been like living here in Grant County. Um, I will go ahead and note that next week is the final week of How to Stay Faithful and Focused on God During Difficult Times. And next week, I also have one more random vlog planned for you guys that has to do with the winter time. So, anyway, but yeah, I'm very happy that I've been living here for as long as I have. So, first of all, it's nothing like Florence. I'll tell you guys that right now. I lived in Boone County, Kentucky for let's say 4 years, so mid 2019, all the way until about late 2024. I lived in Boone County. And I lived in various cities. I lived in Ellesmere. I lived in Burlington, which was the majority of my time. And then, of course, my parents currently reside in Oakbrook, which is kind of a suburb of Florence and Burlington. So it's really hard to say if I was living in Burlington or Florence. It could be both. I don't know. So then there is this guy named Sam that invited me to come live with him in Dry Ridge. And I was like, sure, why not? Well, I'll tell you guys right now, it's quite a culture shock, so to speak, to come all the way out here. At least in my opinion, it was a bit of a culture shock. For somebody who was used to having all the conveniences of like this being available nearby, this being available nearby, blah blah blah, having my parents nearby, my brother nearby, Katie nearby, to it's hard to find anything out here. And it's just like, okay. So I'm going to name one of my favorite things to do, and I do this a lot when I'm getting ready for the day. Usually, I like to do this in my mind. Is I like to do like top 10, and I want to do with you guys today just to be different. Top 10 differences between living out here versus Boone County. So number one is it is much darker out here. I mean, let's face it. And on that note, we're going to talk about how much quieter it is out here. So I mean, first of all, I've mentioned this before in my YouTube videos. It is so dark out here. It is so quiet. Like I look out my window, and I mean, the only reason why I can see anything now is because of the freaking snow. But normally, no, I can't really see anything out there. There's barely any street lights. And I mean, I'm looking just down the street and I can only see maybe half of it. And it's not because it's that long. I mean, that's part of it. It is it's a quarter of a mile. But the other side of the coin is it's just that dark out here. I mean, a lot of the lights I'm seeing are from nearby houses. There are no street lights on this road whatsoever that I live on. The only reason why I can even see anything period is because there is a light on the outside of this apartment that stays on during the nighttime. And then there's also another light that stays on in the apartment hallway all the time. So it's not like I can't, see the apartment. It's one of those things. And then, with that being said, it is very quiet out here. Like, honestly, where I currently live, I never hear any emergency vehicles ever. And that's pretty crazy. Like, if I hear an emergency vehicle here, that's not good. And once again, I don't forget, I've been living here almost half of a year, and I have not heard one emergency vehicle in this section whatsoever. That's just how dead my area is. Number two, there is only one grocery store in the entire county. One! And it's a Walmart. I mean, seriously, this county has probably 50, no, not that many. I wouldn't say quite 50,000, I would say about 30,000 people living in it. Because I'm taking into account Dry Ridge, Williamstown, Corinth, and Crittenden, and they only have a single grocery store that's serving every single person in this entire county. Doesn't that seem a little messed up here? I mean, I'm used to having over 10 grocery stores at my disposal. I'm just saying over 10. I mean, there's probably closer to 25 now in Boone County, but I'm just using that as an example. I mean, I went from that 25 grocery stores, give or take, to one grocery store. And I have to drive 3 miles down a side road called the Dixie Highway just to get there. Yes, the famous Dixie Highway goes right by my house. I literally went from living by it in Ellesmere to living by it again 6 years later. I'm like, well, that's just coincidental, but okay. So anyway, there's that. Number three is there's a huge lack of anything out here. So I mean, what do I have nearby? I have Cracker Barrel. I have a lot of local restaurants. I'm not gonna go into that because it's not gonna make any sense to you guys whatsoever. I got a few fast food restaurants. Your common ones. Naturally, this is Greater Cincinnati, so you're gonna have a couple of Cincinnati-based fast food chains like Skyline Chili and Gold Star Chili, and both of them have their own way of serving Cincinnati chili in some way. And they're actually very popular, believe it or not. But in the meantime, that's really it. I mean, there is one substation in this entire city, and I think it's the only one in this entire county for that matter, except for Subway, naturally. But I mean, if you were to count Subway, then there's three altogether. But still, I mean, there's not a lot of sub places around here. Not where, not like back in Boone County where there's like 50 different substations. And it's like you got Subway or you got another place called Penn Station. I'm sure there's other places nearby too. Um, Number four would be the fact that there's hardly any sit down restaurants around at all. You got a locally owned sit down restaurant in Williamstown. Everything else in Williamstown is literally all locally owned, and they're all like diners. I don't know if I would count them as sit down. There, I guess you could say they are, but like all the sit down restaurants that are chain operated are out in Boone County. There are only two sit down restaurants in Dry Ridge, and one of them, once again, is locally owned. And it actually, I actually do know the owner somewhat well. She opened it herself. She used to work at the Ark Encounter as a culinary manager, and she named it Kelly's. Not that it makes any sense to you guys, but or Kelly's Homestead, I should say. But that is actually her restaurant, believe it or not. But you're probably wondering, okay, dude, that has nothing to do with chain. There's only one chain restaurant isn't in this entire county, and it's Cracker Barrel. That's it. If it wasn't for Cracker Barrel, we wouldn't have anything. As far as chain is concerned, it's just like, seriously? No chain restaurants. Yeah, they're all out in Florence. They're all out in Boone County, 30 miles north. Which brings me to number five. The next closest grocery store, period, nearby, besides Walmart naturally, is about 10 to 15 miles north. Yes, you heard that right. Like, time wise to get out here is not bad. The mileage is insane. Like, to get from me to my parents is about 30 minutes. It's the miles that's where it gets you. It's about 30 miles. 31 minute per mile is what I like to joke around about. Depending on how fast you're going, of course. Number six, and that would be the fact that trying to think here. 1 second. There are not a lot of hotels out here at all. I mean, I'm impressed that there are as many as there are. I would say in Dry Ridge alone, there's about 10, which is pretty impressive. But I mean, let's just face it here. Williamstown and Dry Ridge are the only cities that even have any hotels at all. That's it. I would say there's less than 15 in the entire county. I mean, for Grant County, that's pretty good. And the only reason why there are as many hotels as there are is because of the Ark. And if the Ark wasn't around, there would not be this many hotels at all. I can tell you guys that right now. Actually, the Ark has been doing so well that Hilton is expanding again, and they're building another Home to Suites in Dry Ridge, opening this May, is what I'm hearing. So that's exciting. I'm very excited about that. I think that will be a very nice change. It'll be nice to have a Home to out here instead of having just Hampton. I might have to go check out the Home to sometime. Spend the night because I got that team member rate. Katie and I are talking about it, but I know for sure during the wintertime, if I'm not living out here, or if I'm living out in Crittenden and the weather's so bad I can't get home, I could stay there. Or I might just stay there for fits and giggles, like on my birthday or whatever. Just like, why not? Actually, there's another Hilton that's coming to the Newport area over by the aquarium that I'm also thinking about staying at sometime too. Anyway, number seven would be the fact that there are not a lot of gas stations out here at all, let alone chain some gas stations. So you've got your lower end gas stations primarily in Dry Ridge. The only two chain or decently chain gas stations out here are Speedway, and Ironically, there's one on the left side of the interstate over by Cracker Barrel, and there's another one on the right side of the interstate over by Walmart, and that's it. And I mean, everything else is like BP, Shell. I mean, they're decent, but they're not great either. They're like, eh. You've got a locally owned one out here as well. But I mean, otherwise, that's about it. I did forget to mention the other fast food restaurant that is here in Dry Ridge, and it's the only one in the entire county. Again, that's Taco Bell and KFC. And I'll tell you guys right now, they do not enjoy Saturdays because there's way too many people coming there for the small amount of staff that they have, and it is not a picnic. But anyway, um, so as far as um, number 8 is concerned, so for number 8, the majority of the groceries places that people go to around here, besides Walmart, Dollar General. Yeah, they're everywhere. There's one in Williamstown, there's one in Dry Ridge. Actually, there's two in Dry Ridge, I take that back, and then there's one in Crittenden. And I'm sure there's one in Corinth too, if I'm not mistaken. For a second, I thought I heard a snowplow, but it's a little late in the night for a snowplow. It's like after 1 o'clock in the morning at the moment, and I'm having this uploaded at 5 p.m. on Friday. So, yeah, I figured I would just go ahead and do all my vlogging now, and that way I don't have to worry about it later. But, yeah, it's, very strange knowing that if Walmart's not an option, then you have to go to Dollar General. Like whenever I do shop and deliver on DoorDash, speaking of DoorDash, if I was talking about it, that is, yeah, normally if I do any kind of shop and deliver, it's either Speedway or Dollar General, and that's it. And another pain in the butt for me with living out here, which brings me to number 9, is I either am sent to Dry Ridge or Crittenden for any kind of delivery. So, for example, I might be picking up food in Dry Ridge, and then I might be delivering all the way out to Crittenden. And that's a good 5 to 8 miles north, whether that's taking the Dixie Highway or whether it's taking I-75. And it's just like, seriously? Like, come on, man, really? But I gotta do it. It is what it is. And then, come, we'll say, Crittenden. Sometimes I might have somebody that orders out there, and then, wants me to deliver all the way to Dry Ridge, and I'm just like, or one of my favorites. I just get done delivering out in Crittenden, and then they want me to go all the way back down to Dry Ridge. And I'm just like, really? Really? Just to go get the food, and then I might have to turn back around and go all the way back to Crittenden. I'm just like, that's where my mileage gets eaten up, is the fact that Crittenden doesn't really have a lot of places to eat at, but has a lot of people living in it, and because DoorDash tries to keep you in your zone, they're going to go, okay, well, we're going to send David, for example, or the theme park evangelist. I am so sorry, my hair is a mess tonight. I can't do anything with it. Yeah, it's obviously getting long. But anyway, yeah, they'll send like the theme park evangelist down to Dry Ridge to go get the majority of the food that is available. But sometimes I wish they would send me to Walton, which is at least 5 miles north of Crittenden, just to go get food. But it is what it is. Finally, number 10 is the fact that let me pause this again. I just got done talking about severe weather and my how to stay faithful and focus on God during difficult times. Well, Boone County at least stays on top of their roads all the time. Out here, not really. Sometimes they're good about it, sometimes they're not. It really just depends. And out here on these side roads, not really. I mean, it's been surprising. They've been a little bit more on it lately, but normally they're not very good about it. Like the salt truck definitely does not come out here as often as they hit up Florence or even Erlanger, where Katie lives, and it can be very frustrating because people work around here too. It's not like we just hang out in our places 24/7. We have lives to live too. We still have to get to the grocery store. We still have to go out to eat. We still have places to go. We still have to get out to Florence. But yeah, anyway, that those are the top 10 things I have noticed about living out here in Grant County. And there you go. That is what it's been like living out here in Grant County versus Boone County. I can tell you guys right now, living in Boone County is the complete opposite of living out here in Grant County, and it's just been something I've gotten used to. But anyway, always remember you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Have a great day. Peace out.